Going live, yeah, going live. Oh, going live. Going live. All alone, no, I can't describe. Oh, going live. Whoa, going live. How is everybody doing? I didn't say I was going to go live. Whoa, oh man, my hair is more and more looking like the kind of hair that's attached to a hat. You know what I mean? Then you just put on like a clown. I guess that would make sense. Huh. I wish I could get this. Boobs are out for Onyx. Holy hell. I wish I could get that cropped out. I don't like seeing my light, but then it's like so much of my body. How's everybody doing? The cat's in the wall. The cat's in the wall. Oh, I tell you. I've had some 5:30 p.m. coffee, so yeah, I think this will be a good time to stream. What am I missing? My talking cane. Oh yeah, you watched the Onyx chat show with Eric Bauza? That was so great. Man, I didn't think he would bust out Bugs and Daffy. I honestly was starstruck. And the fact that he gave Onyx a shout out, 2 tequila shots for Bowser. Whoa! I mean, if you need an excuse to do shots, you can blame it on me. Where am I from? I am from Maryland. I'm from a suburb outside of DC in Maryland. Let me get my talking cane. I don't remember where I put it. BRB. BRB. Talking cane. Talking cane. Where are you, my talking cane? Talking cane. Talking cane. Where are you, my talking cane? So I thought we could talk about stretch goals. And I thought we could talk about just some good news. It's just been like the last couple of days, I've been getting so many cool emails and congratulations, even though our campaign's not over. We've got 2 more days. Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah. It's over Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Oh, you have the same accent as my mom. You know, I tell you what, Amanda, if I'm watching, oh wow, if we got $1 million from Kickstarter, I mean, it would basically just be, just think of the movie and then up every aspect of it. I think I've said this before, but I wouldn't change the structure of the movie. I would just amplify every aspect that's there. I mean, think about it. Like, it can come down to things like I want the Meat Hut to be an A-frame, an old school A-frame fast food joint. Maybe we won't be able to afford a vintage fast food joint. Maybe we got to shoot somewhere that's like a modern Wendy's that's been abandoned, or like a modern Long John Silver that's been abandoned. The more money, the more it can be exactly what's in my head. I mean, that's all. It'll all just get bigger. It's really difficult because this is a tangent, but a lot of the fast food places that have shut down, there's just like nothing functional inside. You know, it's been stripped of all of its ovens and all of its microwaves and sinks. And so shooting at a fast food place is difficult. You don't want to walk into a completely stripped building. But at the same time, I always wanted the Marty's Meat Hut to be kind of vintage looking. Kind of like the way I remember Roy Rogers being as a kid in Maryland. Oh, back to Maryland. Yeah, like Whataburger, the A-frame, exactly, Nate. Like the A-frame Whataburgers. If I'm watching a show, like I think I said this the other day, I forget where. Movies has more of a modern fast food vibe. I want it to feel like old school fast food. If I'm watching Survivor, I can pick out a Maryland or a Virginia, even like North Carolina accent. But if they're from the eastern shore of Maryland, oh, I can pick that out from across the way. Yeah, it's a very specific thing. I once had an audition out here, and somebody asked, they said, do a Cage Bartok. That's a great idea. But the only problem is we can't promise Nicolas Cage. Do you know what I mean? The language around that has to be, if we get more money, we will put that toward casting a bigger name. But we can't say we'll get Nick Cage. I mean, I could reach out to his manager and tell him where we are and ask him, will Nick read the script in one night and give us a number? I could. I don't know if he'd respond. Everybody's from Maryland. Me, my wife, everybody's from Maryland. Not everybody, but I'm from Bowie, Maryland. I'm from Bowie, Maryland. So I went on an audition out here once, and the casting director said, we're looking for a Baltimore accent. And so I did it. And she told me it was not a Baltimore accent. And I told her, for all intents and purposes, I'm from Baltimore. You know what I mean? The difference is so minimal. And my sister is still in Maryland. And over the years, well, both, one of my sisters is not in Maryland anymore, but one is. But dad's from Massachusetts. And what I was about to say is about my sister and my dad. Basically, my sister that stayed in Maryland, her accent got more and more like Maryland. She calls me. She's like, oh, I didn't know if you'd pick up the phone. And if you think about it, Onyx's voice is kind of an exaggerated Maryland thing. Gaithersburg, yeah, for sure. But my dad's from Boston. My mom's from Oklahoma. So my dad's joke used to be that I went from parking my car in Harvard Yard to now I park my car because he married my mom. Long ass double bridge. Yeah, if it's the bridge I'm thinking of. I mean, long ass bridges. You're not thinking about, I mean, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, not that doesn't literally go into Bowie, but I mean, it's close. You know what I mean? You get on Route 50. There, but are you thinking of like Governor's Bridge Road? Because Governor's Bridge Road is like where all the Goatman lore is, and that's why I love that area. That's right in Bowie. Oh, the Bay Bridge. If you're talking about the Bay Bridge, freaks me out. I have never liked going over that bridge. Never liked it. No. Yeah, at that audition when I did Baltimore accent, they said it wasn't Baltimore. And then I would go on auditions in New York, and they would say, oh, can you try it without a Southern accent? And I'd say, I didn't know I had a Southern accent. It's just different, you know, wherever you go. One time I had an audition for The Client, okay, which was, I think that was a John Grisham book that was turned into a movie. I want to say it was directed by, I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to guess. I think it was actually Joel Schumacher. Let me see. The Client. It's a 1994 film directed by Joel Schumacher. I got it. Oh, so I went out for The Client as a kid, and I did an accent because I think it's supposed to take place in Tennessee. I think. And oh my gosh, why don't they list? Wow, this is wild. Okay. So I did a slight Southern dialect, right? And they said no dialects. And I was like, oh, sorry. You know, as like a 12 or 13-year-old kid, I was like, sorry, I thought it took place in Tennessee. And the person said, it does, but we're not looking for a dialect. And I was like, okay, sorry. I dropped my dialect, did it straight, and Brad Renfro got the part. Where's Brad Renfro from? Tennessee. Squat, quack, quack, quack. And that's what auditioning is like. That's what auditioning is like. All of those experiences are what made me want to become a director. And people joke that being a director is because you want to have control. Yeah. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Because you know what it feels like when you walk into a room and you're like, okay, here's what I prepared. I prepared this song. No, we don't want to hear that song. Oh, for fuck. But that's all oh shit. Rug pulled out from under you. You're fucking falling. Other roles I went out for, Edward, I went out for The Faculty. Elijah Wood's part. Surprise, they cast Elijah Wood. I was out for Rushmore. I gotta say, obviously Jason Schwartzman is a beast, and now we all love him. My audition for Rushmore was really good. Like, rarely did I have an audition where I felt in the pocket, but the fact that that character was almost like a character I would later go on to write. I wasn't really writing a lot back then, but I had just watched Bottle Rocket. I had watched Bottle Rocket as a teenager on HBO 3 or something, and it was presented as like, a film festival favorite, even though it infamously did not get into Sundance. And so I had just seen Bottle Rocket, and the next day my manager sent me an audition for Rushmore, and they said, it's from this up-and-coming director. His name's Wes Anderson. And I was like, what? I just watched Bottle Rocket, and I thought it was like, meant to be, right? Shout out from Annapolis. Thank you, Josh. Caps Wrap. Hell yeah. So I thought it was meant to be. I went to New York for the audition. It went really well. Oh, didn't get it. I also was up for the Hyde role in what was called Teenage Wasteland, which became That 70s Show. But keep in mind, when I say up for, I mean I auditioned for it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know how many people they saw for those roles? This is not the kind of story where it was down to me and one other guy. It was me or Elijah Wood. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was just, I auditioned for a bunch of stuff. Auditioned for Gavroche on Broadway. And that was the one where I went in and I sang Grow For Me. I sang Grow For Me from Little Shop. And they started playing it in the wrong key. I told the accompanist, I said, okay, key of whatever. And they were like, got it. And they started playing it too high. And again, I was just like, oh, that's not the key. Oh, I'm going to run out of runway. I'm going to run out of room. Halfway through this audition, I'm going to crack. And I did. And I walked out of that audition and I just was so tired. I mean, even as a kid, I was just like, you know what? Not tight. This is not tight. I don't like not knowing what the F is going to be expected of me. What other things did I audition for? I'm trying to think of something that would actually... Oh, you want to hear an interesting story? The episode of Homicide that I did as a kid that has Elijah Wood in it, that episode was directed by Alan Taylor, the director who went on to do many, many episodes of Game of Thrones and Thor 2, The Dark World. And one of my first jobs, not one of my first jobs, I think my first gig for Nerdist was to be a camera operator at the D23, the Disney Expo. And I was filming Alan Taylor because he was there to talk about Thor 2. And my talent, I was camera operating, and the talent from Nerdist said to Alan Taylor, this guy was in your first episode, it was in an episode of Homicide: Life on the Street that you directed. And no joke, Alan Taylor was the nicest dude. He was like, you've got to be kidding me. You mean in Baltimore? And I said, yeah. And he said, that was my first job out of film school as a TV director. I was so nervous. And he said, that whole crew was so wonderful. I remember every kid actor was wonderful. Elijah was wonderful. And he was like, that really cemented my confidence in television. And he's like, from there, he went on to do whatever, the FL's TV, and he's become a very, very successful director. He did one of the Terminator movies too, I think. But it was so cool to think of him being a nervous first-time director on that episode of Homicide. And now, me being aspiring in the sense that if we're comparing me to Alan Taylor, I'm aspiring. He's successful. But it's just interesting, a little full circle. God, what else I was a background actor in a Barry Levinson film. Levinson being a really big, big Baltimore guy. I was a background actor in his film Liberty Heights. And Adrian Brody would not take the shuttle bus with the background actors. Yeah. So it was raining and it was freezing rain one morning. And we were all piling into this shuttle bus to go over to location. And Adrian Brody comes out of the hotel and I don't know, one of the PAs or whoever the F was like, go ahead and get in. We're all heading over. And he turns to them and he's like, with the extras? No. And instead of him waiting, we all had to get out and he took the shuttle alone. And all of us background actors had to stand in the rain while Adrian Brody took the shuttle bus to set alone. Yeah, that's a story I've never told. Wow. And you know, those things, you notice those things. I mean, how old was I? I think I might have been 15. And I'm sitting there looking at that guy and I'm sitting here and look at all of us kids. There were kids, dude. There were kids. And he kicked us out of the shuttle. Wild, dude. I mean, I've got other stories, but you know, I was at a film festival once and I was like treated like SHIT by someone that will remain nameless, but they later became very, very successful. But it's interesting to me when people already treat you like shit, but they're not successful yet, but they know they're gonna be. Like, I live in the constant fear that I won't actually ever have the success that I want to have, you know, that I won't ever actually get to make the films that are in my head or whatever. Because ultimately, it's a privilege to get to explore your art in a way that keeps you in control. And that costs other people's money. It's a privilege, right? So, yeah, what do you mean? Yeah, the same the shuttle brought Adrian there, came back and got us. Yeah, there weren't two buses in the morning. There was like one shuttle. Liberty Heights was a surprisingly low budget movie. Now, when I look back on it, I'm like, wow, he had a small budget for that. We were all kept in this. Oh my gosh, dude. The extras were kept in a unheated house in the winter in Baltimore. And we were just extras holding was an empty Baltimore row house with no heat. And at some point, one of the adults was like, hey, whoever the F, you got to get some space heaters. We got kids here that are like shaking. They're so cold. So they went to the hardware store and they got like 5 space heaters and brought them back. That's the kind of production it was, though. It wasn't like a big production. Anyway, I was the paper boy and I got cut out. Oh, but some of my friends from high school are in that movie. I can still see them. So the point is, I've always lived in that fear of like, I don't know if this thing's going to work. I don't know if I'm going to be successful. I'm just going to keep making the stuff I like. And I really hope at some point it clicks. And making this movie might be exactly that click. Because because of the Kickstarter, it'll actually be what's in my head. And that's rare. And we've talked about that on these streams. And how much of a gift it is that I get to pursue this film without any hindrance, without anybody saying, no, not a horror comedy. What if it was Onyx in a Christmas movie? We really need a Christmas movie this year. Oh, well, first of all, I would make an Onyx Christmas movie. If we get to make more of these, it'll be like number 2 will be kind of like a Gremlins 2, but number 3 will be like maybe number 2 should be a haunted Christmas movie. Ooh. Yeah. That got me excited. Greg, hey, Greg, I know exactly what you mean. I will say most of my idols that I've met have been awesome. But let me tell you another story. Wait, okay. I was mistreated at a film festival. I won't say who, because it's just pointless. And also, you never know. Somebody might have been, I don't know. Somebody might have just had a bad day. But I tell you who treated me wonderfully. This might be surprising, unless you all have heard about this person actually being nice. Onyx saves Krampus. Oh my God. Onyx versus Krampus. Whoa. I mean, this is the thing. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but if Onyx and this film could actually unlock me getting to make like every type of movie I've ever wanted to make, what a freaking glorious gift. Oh my God. even if we could just make 2 or 3, but can you imagine just going through and being like a great Krampus movie? Not that Krampus wasn't good, but I just mean Onyx versus Krampus. I mean, Onyx versus vampires, Onyx versus, we got a werewolf in the movie, but they're friends. Gosh, there's just so many places to go. I mean, number 2 could have more of like a Night of the Creeps vibe where there's like a lot of stuff hitting the fan. Hey, let's not forget, I'm supposed to be talking about stretch goals, onyxthemovie.com, onyxthemovie.com. I mean, once Friday hit, in my mind, first of all, if you remake Pumpkinhead but with Onyx, I will blast off and just like exit Earth's atmosphere. I would be so excited. Yeah, Pliskin, that's the goal is like, if the movie doesn't lead to another movie, could it lead to a Netflix series? Case in point, I didn't see this movie. First of all, don't let me forget to talk about, what was I going to talk about? Sequels, Onyx, shoot. What was I going to talk about? Stretch goals. But what were we talking about? Netflix, me auditioning. Oh, being treated really well. Okay, 2 things. A famous filmmaker that treated me really well. And then save yourselves. Remind me to talk about filmmaker that treated me really well and talk about the movie Save Yourselves. Onyx versus Tremors. Man. But think about it. That's how they revived the Universal Monsters with Abbott and Costello. The Universal Monsters. Oh, Tim, what did you keep asking? I'm so sorry. I see like every 17th comment, because if I stare at the comments, I don't tell my stories. But restate your question, please, Tim. Already forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh, so the Universal Monster movies were not doing well. And so they decided to blend them with comedy. And then they do Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello and the Mummy, Abbott and Costello, what else? I mean, there were so many of them. Frankenstein. Oh my gosh. Wow, there are so many of them. Meet the Invisible Man, Meet Jekyll and Hyde, Meet the Mummy. And then they brought back the monsters that way. If I could make this movie, I could totally pitch that. So say this just gets good distribution and people like it, even on a cult level, right? Onyx versus the Evil Dead. Dude, y'all are making me spin out. I can be optimistic, but I can't be so optimistic that I just start floating and leave the atmosphere. Think about the monster properties. So say this does good enough to just get a good distribution deal and it's like a cult favorite. But so say somebody's like, well, I'm not going to give you money to make a second one. But if it was Onyx with Tremors, I can make that make sense. Oh, dude. I would be like, hell yeah. When everything that's wrong feels right. That's the, oh my gosh. Aaron, you're not wrong. Pat Wood is my brother-in-law, and he's priceless. Thank you for bringing that up. So the filmmaker that treated me well was Michael Bay. I was at a film festival, and a buddy of mine and I had made a movie, Bacon on the Side, and it was The Mother of Invention. And we were at this small festival called the Hollywood Film Festival, but it was a small festival, but they threw big parties because I think they were mostly kind of like a PR stunt for whatever company was behind it. But they'd throw big parties at the Beverly Hilton. So we went, and I'm gonna have to stop looking at chat while I tell the story because I'm gonna forget to tell the story. This is embarrassing, and and you shouldn't give stuff to people cold. It's such a fine line when you're trying to hack it. I would give my DVD, my demo reel, and my movies to so many people. And the problem is sometimes it led to jobs. Like I gave my DVD to Chris Carrabba from Dashboard Confessional, and it led to me making music videos. So it's like Onyx Hitchhiking in the UK, American Werewolf in London. That's such a good idea. So you're when you're trying, I don't think I'd do it as an adult, but like I was 22, not that that's not an adult, but you give your stuff to everybody, right? I tried to give my movie to Ron Howard and he wouldn't take it. And it was really funny, but I wouldn't count him as being a bad guy. He had this big like director's jacket on. It was like a cargo jacket with like 19 pockets on it. And I said, Mr. Howard, what could I possibly give you a screener to my film that's a part of this festival that we're in? So sorry. And he went, I would, but I don't have anywhere to put it. I'm so sorry. And he literally tapped 7 different pockets when he said he couldn't take it. And I was like, well, I don't know. You should have just said no. Don't say you've got no room for it and then tap 7 different pockets. Anyway, onyxthemovie.com, stretch goals, stretch goals, stretch goals, stretch goals. Also remind me to talk to you about one more stretch goal that I thought would be fun. I don't know what's going to happen in the last couple of days, but okay. So Michael Bay, we're at the Hollywood Film Festival. We've got our little DVD of The Mother of Invention, and my co-director on that, one of my good friends named Joseph, he was like, let's go give it to Michael Bay. And I think he wanted to do it for the story because I think it was a George Romero jacket. Spot on. I think he thought it'll be great if Michael Bay flips out at us. And so Michael Bay had 2 women on his arms. We walked over to him. I think my friend Joe did most of the talking. And Joe said, I'm so sorry to interrupt. And Michael Bay looked at us. And it was still like, which way is this going to go? Which direction is this going to go? He's looking at us, and Joe says, we're filmmakers. We've got a movie here. And I wondered if we could give you a copy of our film. We've got it here on DVD. Michael Bay's looking at us. And then he says, yeah, you sure as hell can give me a copy of your film. This is exactly what you should be doing. This is exactly what you should be doing. And he takes the DVD and he says, is it a short or a feature? And we were like, it's a feature. And he said, you know what? You should be proud. Making a movie of any size is like going to war. And you two went to war. Congratulations. And then he put it in his pocket. And I don't care if he threw it out. I don't care if he then turned to those women and said, losers, cracked it in half and tossed it in the pool of the Beverly Hilton. I don't care. The fact that he took it and the fact that he just said 2 lines of encouragement as an indie filmmaker, you'd be surprised how much juice that gives you. That gives you the fuel to go like 6 months more. You know what I mean? You've got to get the fuel to just go this much more. It's just like this campaign. Every step of the way where things were feeling dark, something would happen that we'd be on one of these live streams and we'd get $2,000, $2,500. Remember that one early on or maybe at the midway point where we got $10,000 during a live stream? That's the stuff where you're just like, okay, we go this much further, we go this much further, we go this much further. And so that stuff's important. And the fact that he did that was really important. You know who else was super nice? Diablo Cody. She was super nice. One of my first meetings out here, I'll talk about stretch goals. One of my first meetings out here was at DreamWorks, and it was just with like a low-level development guy. And it was when I'd first moved to LA, and it was just for some general. It was a general. If people know what a general is, it's just a meeting where they just talk generally. There's no specific project that's happening that they're interested in. It's just a very general. It is what it's called. So I'm sitting in the waiting room of DreamWorks, and I look up, and so technically we were in the Amblin office in like the DreamWorks section of the Universal lot. So even to just drop, you want your Denny? You want your Denny? You know I got the good stuff today. I got him the shreds, the kind of wet packet of shreds food that he loves. I'll get you Denny. He's been coming out a lot more, not when I'm here, but if I'm not in the room, he's out. Because every time I come back in, he's out, and I just see him jump up. So he's really getting used to the space, and the trick is for him to get used to the space with me in it. But I do think he's making progress. Okay, so now I know you know stretch goals, but thank you, Elijah. But I wanted to explain one more stretch goal that I had an idea for. So I'm sitting there in the Amblin / DreamWorks office, and I look up, and Steven Spielberg's walking down the stairs to go and take his dog for a walk around the lot. And it's one of your first meetings in LA. And it's not like I thought, next stop, Spielberg. But one of the first meetings in LA to just see the man in the flesh Just flip that switch that like all of this is real. This isn't a fantasy. This isn't this. He's a guy. He's at an office. It's a boring day. You know what I mean? It's casual, and that's healthy to kind of start breaking down the idolization of this stuff. And seeing him as just a regular dude was really helpful. I still shit myself when he walked by, but he walked by and gave us a little head nod. You know, so great. What you need to do is sit quiet in the room after you put the food out until he comes down and eats. Hunger will win, and he will jump down. Yeah. I can't do that tonight, but I can do that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Okay. Ready Player 2. Can you imagine if you saw a CG Onyx in Ready Player 2? Just running through that field. What? It's fucking Chucky. All right, here's the stretch goals I want to reiterate. And I want to talk about this idea that I had for a kind of unannounced. Look, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what you do at the stretch goals phase. Like, I would love to encourage people to up their pledge. I'm also incredibly happy that we're at 538. So I don't want to push, but I mean, as I said in the stretch goals video, every dollar above 500, we're already now, we have the money to pay the Kickstarter fee. So even with the 5% that Kickstarter takes, not the processing fees, but their fee is covered, which is so great. That's so great. No, the funding on YouTube doesn't help the stretch goals. That you got to give it right to show me the cat and I'll up my pledge. Well, when I go get his food, you will see the cat. Yeah. Matt Berry for Bartok. Oh boy. But you know what? I'm going to say right now, Matt Berry is one of my favorite people of all time, but I don't think he'd be a good Bartok. I think he occupies the same space as Onyx. I think we're too alike. Not like in personality and in tone, but like we take up that same kind of abnormal space and they would actually detract from each other. You can't have anybody as eccentric as Matt Berry in the same movie as Onyx. And I know that sounds weird talking about Nick Cage, but Nick Cage is a different kind of weird because he's still grounded and heavy. He could play a heavy. You know what I mean? Nick Cage can be menacing and scary. It's a different wavelength than Onyx. I mean, Matt Berry pretty much does just look like Onyx. I would love Nicolas Cage as Bartok. Now, is it possible? I don't know. I do know that I wrote the script to only need Bartok for like 1 week, which may more be like 4 days. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place is one of my favorite shows of all time. Robert Englund is Bartok. Also a great idea. That's a great idea. I don't even think I've thought of that. And I don't know why. Why haven't I thought of that? Jack Black also would be too similar to an Onyx. There could be if Jack Black was in an Onyx movie, well, first of all, I mean, I'd be the luckiest person alive. But they would need to be peas in a pod. It would need to be more like there's, Onyx is partnered with a paranormal expert and it's Jack Black or something like that. I don't know. Sorry. Here's an idea I had for a stretch goal. Some people actually have suggested, well, Will Forte as Bartok would be a botch only because he made a movie called Extraordinary and he basically plays a Bartok type. Ken Foree is a good idea. Yeah. Tim, why are you crying? I'm so confused. Why are you crying? If we could get Nick Cage as a pickle. Yeah, Pickle's Cage. Maybe that would work. Do I have any interest in other characters? For sure. Yeah, I'd love to play all sorts of characters. So anyway, here's an idea that I had for a stretch goal that I haven't announced yet. And I also feel weird if I announce it formally because what's a Slacker backer store? PayPal donation. Oh, okay. Matt Frewer. That's a great idea. Kruger, Mike Kruger. I know. Doug Jones. Yeah. I'm hearing some movement back there, so we're spinning the camera around because I'm hearing some movement. I still don't understand why you're crying, Tim. Um, so, at 700,000, I want to do an animated end credit sequence, which I think we talked about on the stream. You know, like One Crazy Summer. I mean, like any 80s movie. That's all. That's all I wanted to say. That's it. Bye. No. But I was thinking of stretch goals and like the idea that at 666 we make the music video for Talisman of Souls, which also, by the way, I didn't say it. I didn't announce it formally, but yes, that is Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria singing on the Talisman of Souls theme song. He sings the bridge, and that's what's at the end of that stretch goals video, if you saw it. I'm recording my vocals, my official vocals for the theme song tonight. Did you not see my repost? I did not see a repost. I'm sorry. In chat. So why do you only see my crying? Well, I don't know, because the crying takes up 13 rows, and you know everything else is going by a lot quicker. Oh, Sam Neill is Bartok. What a great idea. What a great idea. Every indie movie Nick Cage has been, he seems to love it to the point of even helping. Well, so yeah, so what I would love to do is talk to the Willy's Wonderland guys and ask them what it was like with Nick, like what deal, because I do think he's listed as a producer, right? So it was like probably a reduced fee, but with making him a producer or something like that. Yeah, Clancy Brown's a great idea. Post-credit scene says refuse. Well, I think the movie kind of ends like a Marvel movie. I mean, it ends with like this new team being formed and a threat foreshadowed that's still very much alive and thriving. Oh, I'll watch that, Nate. I've watched a lot of stuff on Willy's Wonderland, but I haven't watched like a full behind the scenes thing. Angry Grandma, wow, thank you. Thank you. Walton Goggins, he's on my little list. He's on my little list. Yeah, so I sent the theme song to Claudio, and I asked if there was a way that he would be willing to sing the bridge, because I know he's an Onyx fan. And actually, Claudio was in a Nerdist video I did years ago. I wasn't playing Onyx, but it was something else that I shot at a Seattle comic book convention. I love Xander as Bartok. I think Xander would be a great choice, for sure. For sure. Anyway, and Claudio sent that back to me yesterday, and it just blew my mind. I've been a fan of theirs for so long. Bill Mosley's also good. I might be doing more G4 stuff. Yes. Where's the movie going to be, Matt? Well, that is all up to the distributor. Whoever we sell the movie to would determine where it is released. I don't know. I just wanted to get a good distribution deal that it's accessible, that it's easy to find, easy to stream. If it had a limited theatrical release, that would be amazing. You know, even if it just played at draft houses, if it played at Alamo theaters. I think you all know what time it is. It's time to feed Grammy Boy. So, I don't leave. I'll be back, but I think I've got to go get Grammy Boy's food. It's 6:40. Yeah. All right, stand by. I'm gonna go get Grammy Boy's food. And oh yeah, somebody brought up, what about Bartok being young? But again, I purposefully didn't want there to be another male character that's Onyx's age. I want every character to occupy a different space. And I think Bartok needs to be older, because it needs to be somebody that Onyx has grown up on. And I think it's also supposed to be reflective of the surrogate father, because he didn't have a dad, and now he was let down by like another male role model. I don't think that kind of subtext is going to be there if it's somebody younger than Onyx, or the same age as Onyx. you know. All right, let me go and get his food. I will BRB. Grammy boy, stand by. Stand by. Hey, buddy. Did he pop out at all while I was gone? He did pop out. Have Onyx say "I know" in the third act. I don't know if I want him to. I think that would be too much of an acknowledgement of the shtick. You know what I mean? Um, I think the reveal of why he said "I don't know," I think is the important beat to hit. With that, he did come out for a second. Okay, that's great. Okay, sorry guys, this is gross. Well, I'll put the food out of frame. All right, Grammy. We're getting this. We're getting it. We're getting it. We're getting it. This stuff is gooey, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna have some shreds. Actually, these are called gravies. Why is the name of all this stuff so silly? Gravies. All right, buddy. I gave you fresh water this morning. Um, let me reposition the camera so you're able to properly see Grammy Boy, right? Don't y'all want to watch him eat? Okay. Okay. Hmm. All right. Come on, focus, camera. They want to see Grammy Boy. Okay. BRB. Have fun, buddy. Show off for everybody. So wait, when did he go back? Hey, Grammy. Wow, it actually doesn't even smell in here, bud. So wait, I was watching. Did I miss when he jumped back? When did he jump back? Surprisingly, it doesn't really smell in here. When did he jump back? Like when I opened the door? But I was looking on the stream. I had it on my phone. So wild. Right as I came in, last second, right when I opened the door. Okay. Interesting. It must have been that I was looking at the stream on my phone, but as I came in, I actually like put the stream down and then looked, but he was already back. Okay. Wild. Well, we finally did it. We finally watched Grammy Boy go doo-doo on stream. I mean, it was bound to happen. You know what I mean? It was bound to happen. But while I was up there, I also got a package that I thought I could open because I think it's a VHS. I think it's a new VHS. A new VHS. And yeah, let's oh no. Let's see what this is. And then also I'm going to talk about what we're going to do on Thursday. I mean, I'm not joking. I'm going to come down here 9 a.m. and I'm just going to start the stream. We're just going to be here all day, all night. And you don't have to worry about Grammy too much. When I am not in the room, he comes out. Well, I don't. Is Grammy scared of me? I think he's scared because he was abandoned. He was left on the street for a month. He could be scared of me because I'm the one that trapped him to try to get him healthy. I do VHS tours on my TikTok. I probably, yeah. What year did you start YouTube? I don't know. Maybe it was 20. I've put stuff on YouTube on different channels since like 2009 or something. I think. I don't know. Maybe 2012 is when I launched Bowser Vids. 2013. Check this out. Check this out. Check it out. Check it out. Yes. 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 Seems to be in pretty good shape too. Oh, I love a good yellowing. The label is just a little yellow. I love a good yellowing. One of the alternate poster ideas. Actually, let me go get it. One of the alternate poster ideas for the Onyx movie was based on this. Let me go get it. Actually, I'll show you. I think I've posted this before. Let me show you some of the poster designs that we didn't go with. Hold on, 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 hold on. So this is an interesting little story. I had the poster designed before I had finished eating the script. Here, boy. But I knew there'd be ghouls. I knew there'd be, a number of different creatures. So, and I knew it was about a talisman of souls. This is the first one. The mansion. Onyx is getting dragged down by kind of zombie hands, skeleton hands. Talisman of souls is around his neck, and there's this big old gravestone. So that was one idea. And then another idea was Onyx kind of pressed up against a door inside the mansion, and all of these hands of monsters coming up around him. Talisman of souls on his neck. This one felt more like, and kind of the other one, they felt more like a cover of like an EC Comics. They felt like the cover of a Tales from the Crypt. They're really cool, really cool. And then this is the one that's based on the Fog. See, Onyx trying to push this door closed, but all the monster hands coming through. You know what I'm saying? You see it. You see it. And then there's like a little demon silhouette in the window, right? I'll go back. I'll go through the stretch goals before I sign out for sure. So all of these rip, right? I had them up in my garage and my friend Olivia was over and she said, you know, I love them all, but I think it needs to be more epic than that. And I was like, yeah. Oh, the artwork is done by Lucas Kettner. So she said, I think it needs to be more epic. I mean, this is your one chance to convince people that doing an Onyx movie would be epic. And so that's when we changed. You know, I kind of based it on budget. I told Lucas, like, I've got this much money, right? But then I wrote him and I was like, you know what, dude? What if I had more money and we went more epic and we went like full Evil Dead, you know? And let's see. I don't know how long this cord is. Not very long, but you know, we went full Army of Darkness, rather. Went full Army of Darkness. That was actually like a shot from Army of Darkness. From Evil Dead 2. So we did, and I'm so happy we did, because this is the funny thing. The fact that I didn't tell him to set it in a cemetery. It's just that one of the other tests had a gravestone. He was like, I'd love to keep the gravestone motif if I can. And I was like, yeah, for sure. There is a sketch of the final project, but I don't have it printed out. Him coming up with this design then actually informed me writing the finale, because it put this imagery in my head. And I thought, well, I got to deliver on that poster. So I set the finale in a graveyard. Not only that, then I needed a reason for it to be set in a graveyard. So now I have it that earlier in the film, the Talisman of Souls is actually buried in the graveyard. So it's such a weird way that, like, me getting this commissioned before I'd finished writing the script, just based on these broad strokes of creative, actually dialed in my creative in a kind of retrofitted manner. And the lavender sweater is a shirt that says friendship, and it's a kind of joke shirt some friends and I had made because we all went on a trip to Texas a few years ago, and we called it the friendship retreat. A partnership with Displayed. Oh yeah, maybe. I don't even know what Displayed is. But yeah. Okay, so stretch goals. Ready? I'm going to have to go to a different tab to properly walk through the stretch goals. So forgive me. I'm not going to be looking at chat for just a minute. At $550,000, everybody gets a download of the film's score, which is being done by Matt Mahaffey. He scored Little Willie. He scores a lot of animation, Rise of the Ninja Turtles. And he's was in a band called Self, which was my favorite band in high school. So Matt working on this film is quite literally a dream come true. That's at 550. At 600, we're going to put more money into the creature effects, more goo. Basically, more creatures, more goo. Specifically, as I have it scripted right now, you only see Abaddon, the demon, as a floating head in a nightmare sequence. But it would be really cool to have a full bodysuit, Pumpkinhead style. Can I see Pumpkinhead? Can I? Well, can I? Yeah. Pumpkinhead style. Oh boy, what I wouldn't give for a full body creature suit. I mean, oh, and it would dictate the creative, right? Because it wouldn't be that Onyx wakes up in the nightmare within this dark space and there's a floating head. It would be that the demon is stalking down the halls like the Jabberwocky in that Alice in Wonderland movie from 1985. Dab. On top of the fact that at 600, we're going to put more money into the creature effects, I'm also going to get a crow tattoo. And I'm not joking. I'm going to film it in character as Onyx. I'm going to go to the tattoo shop. A friend of mine is going to do it for free as his donation to the campaign. He's going to give Onyx a tattoo of the crow. And Onyx is going to be sitting there going, oh, it kind of feels like it's like cutting into my skin, but also setting my skin on fire at the same time. Yeah, it feels pretty cool. Psych. So I have tattoos. Onyx doesn't have any. It's going to be really interesting to see Onyx get a tattoo for the first time. 600K, more money goes into creature effects, and I get a crow tattoo. 650. This is where we start talking about having more money to cast a bigger name for Bartok. There are a plethora of wonderful character actors that I think we could get for Bartok that will make this movie rip, dip, and trip. But would the movie be more likely to sell to bigger distributor if it had a bigger name? So with 650, we're going to try to get a bigger name for Bartok. Everybody knows I've been thinking about Nicolas Cage, but now I've also been thinking about Robert Englund, and I've also been thinking about Jeffrey Combs. But I wanted to do a film initiative reward with these stretch goals and a practical reward with each stretch goal. So Nate, who is here in chat, designed these Onyx trading cards that are, I mean, holy moly, they are like spot on, you know, like the Fright Flicks cards. And because of that, somebody in our Facebook group said, why don't you give those out as a tier, as a reward? So we're going to give at 650, we're going to give all of our backers a pack of 8. There's 9 in here. We're going to give people a pack of 8. Let's actually look through some once I'm done going. And they're going to be stills from our movie. And we're going to make these, dude. They're going to have text on the back. They're going to have quotes at the bottom. I want to get to 650 so that we can make these, because now I'm excited about that as a reward. And then at 666, we're going to put money toward music licensing, try to secure that Meatloaf song. That's for the nightmare sequence. And chalky gum. We probably won't have the chalky gum. How do we get things like posters and stickers from donating on the Kickstarter? Well, what do you mean by that? If you give to the Kickstarter, then you'll get at those tiers, you'll get your poster and you'll get your stickers. Do you mean how do we know your address and stuff? That will all be discussed. But your address is part of when you sign up for your Kickstarter. Now I lost my train of thought. No, stretch goals only exist until Friday at 9 a.m. Stretch goals means we've hit our primary goal and now we stretch beyond it. Whatever we can get beyond it by Friday at 9 a.m., that's what we get. Somebody just had an idea. Oh, that you guys can write the captions on the cards. That's a great idea. But also at 666, not only were we putting more money into music licensing, and we're going to try to get that Meatloaf song, Jesus Christ. I want to shoot a music video for the Talisman of Souls theme song. And for people that haven't heard it, I'm actually recording my vocals tonight, but Claudio from Coheed and Cambria sings the bridge. Let's listen to it. When everything that's wrong feels right, and when you want to give up the fight, yeah, you're gonna have to find your might, dig deeper than ever and find the Talisman of Souls. Anyway, so can you imagine a music video for the Talisman of Souls theme song featuring Claudio from Coheed, Onyx, shot like the Dokken music video for Nightmare on Elm Street 3's Dream Warriors? I mean, holy hell. No, bite your might? No, that's not what he said. He says, when everything that's wrong feels right, and when you want to give up the fight, yeah, you're gonna have to find your might, dig deeper than ever, and find your forever, fight your forever. I don't know. I wrote it. Anyway, let's look up the lyrics to Talisman of Souls. Do y'all want to hear the lyrics? I mean, what am I doing? Can I actually search Talisman of Souls in my notes and not have 900 things that come up? Oh, okay. I'm not going to play the full song because I wanted to do that on the stream on Thursday. Find Your Might, Oh yeah, dig deeper than ever and find your forever. Yeah. Anyway, that's what he said. So I got 666. Oh God, I would love it. Oh, I shot with Churdleys on Sunday. I've edited, uh, I've edited, we did 2 videos, one for his channel, one for my channel. And I edited, well, I didn't edit mine. A guy named Tony edited mine, and I think it's done. I may have a cut of it now. And I'm going to release it tomorrow. I've also got a new, oh, you know what? I could show you a bit of this new Onyx video. Oh, no, I can't. My hard drives are upstairs. But I did another Onyx news video. It takes place in a graveyard. It's really funny. Let's talk current preparations for the film. The only preparation I'm doing now is I have sent the script. I am discussing the script with my line producer. That's it. We're not, and obviously I've got a composer, I've got a DP, I've got a sound designer. Who else do I have? Who else do I have? I have some other department heads. Yeah, I probably have production sound worked out as well. I will try to get a music video shot without having the 666K, but it's highly unlikely because shooting a music video, I mean, like, that's not money that would make sense to spend unless we have it set aside. Oh, that sweet production talk, like I talked about. Yeah, slacker backer. Is that what you said? All right, let me write that down. Let me write that down. Let me slacker. Slacker backer. Okay, I wrote it down. Nathan Barnett is awesome. Okay, stretch goals. Let's hit them. Thursday, 9 a.m. We're just gonna start. I'll probably I'll just be on it all day, shooting TikToks. I'm gonna try to do some Twitch watch parties while we're doing this. Like, I may try to set up another camera and have one device on YouTube and one device on doing Twitch watch parties. We can go from YouTube to watch party, YouTube to watch party. I'm going to shoot TikToks. I'm going to have a couple guests come in through Zoom. I may have a guest come in through the actual garage, into the actual garage. But I'm just going to try to make it as fun as possible. I'm going to be Onyx some of the times. I'll be Bowser some of the times. I don't think Confusing Boner would be a good substitute. I don't think the song that happens in the middle of the movie should be an Onyx song. I think it should be a song. Churdley's video should go up tomorrow. Studio ADI is a lock. I'm sending them the scripts. They're going to review it and give me a budget breakdown, but they said they were on board prior to the Kickstarter even launching. So I would imagine that, yes. Grammys in the walls. Grammys in the walls. I think the stream will record automatically, right? I think my YouTube channel will archive it. Yeah, if we don't get the 666, we'll still look for that Meatloaf video for sure. I mean, that we'll still look to get that Meatloaf song for sure, but I just don't know if we'd have the money. Yeah. Okay. OnyxTheMovie.com, OnyxTheMovie.com, OnyxTheMovie.com. Thank you so much. After 666K, if we get to 700K, I want to do an animated end credit sequence. Hell yeah. Okay. I'll tomorrow's Wednesday. I mean, I'll be back here tomorrow, Wednesday, 6:00. Okay. All right. Thanks. Bye.